This is a tutorial on how to knit continental knitting with 3 colors. My name is Kristen, welcome to my channel. I'm going to teach you how to do this. While you're here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to come back in the future and learn from more tutorials. Let's begin. Colorwork can be tricky, especially when you knit with more than one color at a time. The more colors you add, the trickier it gets, especially because the yarn will tangle unless you figure out how to not tangle them. After over 25 years of knitting colorwork, I am going to share with you my most favored method of knitting colorwork. We're going to start by showing how we do the grip, because a good grip is essential to keep the tension and also to make this as smooth as possible as you knit your way through your garment. I start out by figuring out what color I am going to have in most of my stitches. The color in most of the stitches are going to be further out on my index finger, so closest to the tip of my finger. And this is because by having it all the way out to the tip of my finger and the other colors on the inside of this color, I can trap the floats of the other colors that I use less by going over, under, which is also something that I'm going to show you later in this video. As you can see here, I have each of the different colors spread apart using my middle and my ring and my little finger. However, it's the little finger that primarily will be the finger that holds the tension on the yarn. So I hold all 3 colors with my little finger and I use the middle and ring finger to split apart all the colors. Then I put my index finger under all 3 colors and I hold it as if I'm knitting continental with only one color. Step 2, knitting and trapping floats. This part is pretty simple. You knit continental knitting as if you're knitting with only one color. However, you only pick up the different color as you need them. So depending on your pattern, you will use the color that the pattern is asking for. However, there are some tips and tricks that you can do to trap your floats as you are knitting, which is one of the reasons why I really love this method. And I'm going to attempt to show you how I trap the floats as I go. In this case, I'm going to start trapping them once I get to the gray one, because the gray color is going to be knitted in a longer stretch. So now you're going to see why we want the color that we knit the most. And when I say most, I mean the most stitches in a row. Why do we keep it the furthest out towards the tip of your index finger? And as you can see here, the gray is now laying on top of the blue and orange color. I go under the 2 other colors, pick up the gray, which in return is going to trap the blue and orange float in the back. And after I've done that, you can see that the gray color is now laying under the orange and blue color. To trap the blue and orange again, I now will have to go over the blue and orange and pick up the gray. And as you can see here, it's kind of going around the blue and orange color, which in return is trapping them. I was taught that, especially when knitting socks, because of, tiny toes getting caught on stuff, you want to trap your floats at least every 3rd stitch. And because of this, I had a lot of, tangled yarn figuring out how I was going to trap my floats when I had longer stretches to knit, which created a lot of floats. I also came up with this method right here where I go over and around and I grab the color and bring it back, which also traps the 2 colors. And that is if you use the middle color or the all the way in color, so in this case the orange, you can use that method, but you have to be aware that that will twist your stitch, which is not an issue if you are aware of it, because you can untwist it the next time around, but just be aware if you go over, around, grab the orange in this case, and bring it back, that will give you a twisted stitch. If you're interested in learning more about how I trap my floats using both methods, over under and over around, let me know in the comments and I will make a video specifically focusing on these two ways of trapping floats as you knit. As you can see here, this method too will limit the stretch in the fabric. However, in my experience, because I trap so often, it creates a tiny bit of extra length to each of the floats, which in return gives it a little bit more stretch. As you can see here, it traps the floats really, really well. And it's up to you how often you want to trap the float. That's just a personal preference for me. As you see here, I'm trapping it very often. Also, I wanted to see or to show you how I trap the floats. Depending on how tight you hold your tension, that will determine how much stretch you're going to be left with once you're done knitting that round. As you can see here, there is stretch to the fabric and it's slightly less than if you have two colors since you now have three that you're dragging along, but there is some stretch. So depends on how you like to do it, how you want to do it, and what the pattern asks for. You can trap the floats less or more often, but regardless of how you do it, it's most likely gonna be slightly less stretchy than two colors and slightly less than one color. I hope this gave some insight into how I knit Continental with three colors. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments and I will answer the questions with videos trying to explain better and more thoroughly what is going on based on what needs to be better explained. While you're here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to come back in the future and learn from more tutorials.